Hello, you guys. This is Josh Vision, and I'm here to give you my season 6, episode 3 review of Vikings. So, in this episode, you guys, let's start off with King Harold and King Olaf. So, as we learned from the previous episode, King Olaf basically captured, or man-napped King Harold after, their victory against Ivar in the Battle of Kattegat. So, now, I'm not really sure how much time has passed. Maybe it's been like several months. Maybe it's been a couple of years or so. Because if we're going by the whole Silk Road scene early, like in the previous episode, it's probably been at least a year since Ivar went from clean shaven to straight up beard and now was gone. And Bjorn and Gunhild, I believe she's pregnant and seems like she's kind of far along the pregnancy, so on and so forth. So either way, I think it's probably been a year, maybe a few months. Either way, we see King Harold at the dinner table with King Olaf, and they're talking about the whole concept of fate and destiny. Now, if we remember in season 5B, even though King Olaf, well, not King Olaf, but King Harold is still very Viking, he thinks outside the box in the sense of he doesn't necessarily believe in the whole idea that you're fated to do things. Or at least his thought process, has changed. And he believes more in destiny. He doesn't believe that whole fate crap. King Olaf, in a sense, seems like he's trying to justify him taking King Harold, because either way, if he took him, that means it was going to happen anyways. So how is he to feel any guilt or be the wrong, or be the one doing the wrong thing in the situation, so on and so forth. But King Harold doesn't really give a crap. He's just like, listen, man, you had me in prison for so long. Now I have some food after a few weeks or however long I've been in this damn cell, and some mead finally. Eventually King Olaf, he just seemed like a crazy off dude. Like, I don't get his motives at all. So anyways, he sends King Harold back, and I think King Harold actually kind of mocks him by singing a certain song that he used to sing with his brother, and King Olaf knew the words, so they were kind of singing along. And then after King Harold is back to his prison, we see that smile on King Olaf's face be gone. Now he's kind of mad for some apparent reason. Anyways, later in this episode, we have Bjorn basically on his way to save King Harold. We see that him and Gunhild have one final embrace. We find out through this interaction that Gunhild's actually pregnant, with Bjorn's child, but we don't know how far along she's pregnant with, how far along she is, in the pregnancy. But it's clear that Bjorn is no longer interested in her, and this is a recurring theme with Bjorn. He's with a woman for a certain amount of time, and he just loses interest. Like, it happened with Torvi, now it's happening with Gunhild, and now I believe the woman of the moment now, the flavor of the month, is that servant woman. Like, I believe I mentioned in the other episode. So who knows if she's pregnant now? How much of hell that's gonna, bring to the Ragnar, the Lothbrok family. So speaking of which, I believe that was actually the woman Bjorn was actually paying attention to, when he and Flatnose and company were basically sailing away towards, to get King Harold. He wasn't looking at Gunhild. He was looking at, his new interest, the servant woman. So we have Ube give this really great speech about how Bjorn was right about expansion and through trade. He was talking about how he was able to basically, I believe he said he was able to basically create missions in which he had 2 missions going on. He had 2 missions, in terms of trade, when it came to King Alfred and England, and Duke Rollo and Francia, but also he had a mission in regards to the Silk Road, in which Visik was supposed to be in charge of, but Visik was not there while he was announcing it, even though Visik was supposed to be there. But clearly Visik has his own issues to deal with. But But Ube really does give a really great speech, like I mentioned before, in regards to what he's been able to basically create with him being a temporary king of Kattegat, since Bjorn is on his way to save King Harold. And he talks about how they're Vikings. That's what they're supposed to travel, explore and to raid and all that stuff. But that we have to expand. We have to change with the times. but still remain the same accord, and basically that Kaga is going to be one of the greatest cities in the world, you know, and that he hopes everyone, here follows through with that dream, and that ambition. So I got Ragnar season 1 and season 2 vibes from Ube in this scene, because he seemed like Ragnar was season 1 and season 2 when he was actually motivated to do things, and he wasn't really held back by the stress of power and the corruptness of power, and when his friends were still around him. Now, there's one reason why I think him and Ivar are better leaders than Bjorn, because I believe Bjorn is just a warrior. I don't think Bjorn is really king material. I think he's a really great like warrior leader, but being a king is not meant for him. He's an explorer and a fighter, at heart. Speaking of Visick, since Visick came to mind, Visick wants to, like, for the majority of this episode, he's been having visions about Thora, her death, and basically seeing like visions of her, like, after she died. Like, her body is like really mutilated. You see all like the inner skin, the red, and all that crap, like the ramifications from being burned alive. Like, and honestly, Visick is like haunted by this, like the guilt of not being there to protect the love of his life, so on and so forth. And even when he's speaking with Gunhild, he says Ivar is there. Ivar is just waiting for me to slip. I can't slip, because if I slip, Ivar's gonna kill me. So I believe I did a video on this saying that Visick would go half mad, during season 6, and I was right. He's a drunk and he's half mad. But let's see how long this lasts for Visick. But the guy who plays him, he's done a really great job acting these past 3 episodes. He's done a really great job. Definitely. I think him and Ube has done a great job. Him and the actress that's played Gunhild. They've been on their A game so far, in my opinion. Now, in regards to Lagertha got her, I believe Lagertha, Torvi, Ube, and her grandkids have helped Lagertha actually build her own house. And we see that Lagertha, despite I believe she wanted to be by herself, just by herself basically. But there was these women from a different village, like another part of the island, whatever, and they mentioned how they're basically by themselves and that they don't have any men to protect them, since their men have died in war along with their eldest sons. So basically, I'm assuming that either they don't have any more children to protect them, or the kids or the boys are basically too young to do a damn thing. So I believe Lagda allows them to stay like with her, not in the house per se, but basically to build like a little community amongst themselves, whatever. So that was pretty cool, Lagda. And we had a scene in which Torvi, if she hadn't kissed Lagda's tail like already so much so far season 6, she's like, oh my god, like, you're so great, Lagatha, la-di-da, blah, 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 blah. And when Ube basically says, well, we all know you're pregnant, I'm going to be traveling, to Iceland and to Greenland, whatever, to try to find Floki and discover new lands. Like, you're pregnant, so I don't think it'll be wise for you to go. And she's a little temper tantrum saying, well, I've been compromised all my life, Ube, and all this stuff. And Ube's like, really, like, oh my god. I didn't mean what I meant. I'm just saying, I'm just trying to be practical here. And even Lagda's like, okay, you kind of forced it. But either way, Torvi's like, listen, I'm going to be with you until the end, okay? And Ube's like, okay, who could take care of the children? So Lagatha volunteers to take care of the children. So that's basically dealt with. So Ube and Torvi, they're on their way. Essentially, they're going back to Kaget. And I believe Lagatha says that, Ube says that, listen, there's no need for any, like, goodbyes. We'll be back together soon. So I'll see you when I see you. So right when this happens, we get this scene of the leader of Ivar's original crew of his right-hand men. You know how Bjorn sent them to the woods instead of killing them when he should have. So we see the guy and his men going to one of the ladies who Lagda allowed basically to build community along with her. We see that this dude got an axe and he killed this woman. And we see her body basically once like stacked up somewhere. And Lagtha sees how mutilated the body is, and even her grandchildren see it. And one of her, I believe her grandson got a knife, and we see him sleeping with it, or you know what I mean, because Lagtha pulls the cover over and notices he has a knife in her hand. So Lagtha, who said in the previous episode she would no longer fight and she bared her sword, she is now like, screw it, I gotta fight to protect my grandchildren and the fellow women, like of this basically community. So she's gonna fight one last time. Now, I believe something's gonna happen here because Torvi's been kissing Lagtha's tail even more than usual. You know what I mean? The past couple episodes. Well, last 3 episodes. So, I believe Lagtha's going to lose one of her grandchildren. Now, the question is, who is it going to be? Because it'll be too obvious if it was the boy. It'll be too obvious. So, it must be the granddaughter, right? But yeah, either way, I'm going to do a video on that after I'm done with this. But either way, we talked about Lagtha. We talked about Ube. We talked about Visick. We talked about Bjorn, basically. Well, actually, a little bit left of Bjorn, and we'll get to Ivar. So, Ivar and basically the king, king in waiting, essentially, Igor, the boy, we see them bonding once more. We see them make fun of each other. We have Igor even making fun of Ivar's crippleness, which is amazing that he could get away with it, because even though Ivar's in a different town, Ivar's unpredictable. I'm kind of surprised Ivar didn't hit the boy with an axe or something. But either way, you can tell they're really fond of each other. We see that Prince Olag's brother was captured by basically Prince Olag's men, and we see him get tortured by his brother. At one point, we see Ivar and Igor basically go outside, and we see the dude have his face cut open to a certain extent. I don't know what happened to his hand. Something happened to his hand, but we didn't really get to see it. But the change was like through his mouth, and it was a very weird and grotesque thing. And it was funny because Igor was laughing at that, and even Ivar was kind of laughing, but Ivar was kind of looking at it like the wheels were turning in his head, like, yo, like, okay, maybe I should start to take this guy more serious in the sense that he might even try to do some crap to me. It seemed like that really struck Ivar in a sense, which he's really trying to really see the danger. Like, even though he saw the danger in the first episode, the second episode, so on and so forth, but you really start to see that this guy, okay, you guys know what I'm saying? But yeah, the last thing I gotta say before this review is over with is the whole thing with Bjorn and Flat Nose. We see that they're trying to do like basically a night attack. They're underwater, and they're trying to attack King Olaf by surprise, but that didn't work. Olaf was right on those mother Canuckers. He's seen it coming. So we see him on his chair, his throne, and he has his archers like shooting like arrows with fire, surrounding Bjorn and his men. And you got Megan set on fire, so on and so forth. I'm being honest with you, it was beautiful. And we have King Olaf say, his kind of iconic at this point when it comes to his delivery of the words when it comes to warfare. Come see the wreckage of humanity, like so on and so forth. But yeah, so it was really kind of, in a way, kind of grotesquely poetic in a sense. You've seen all these guys get shot up, women get shot up, with those arrows and like the flame. They're trying to escape, and see every time they try to escape, they corner them off with more and more flames, so on and so forth. So it makes you wonder, how's Bjorn gonna get out of this? How's he gonna get out of this without losing that many men, men power? And if he does get out of it, what's gonna be his best approach to get King Harold, or to try to convince King Olaf to let King Harold go? So I'm really looking forward to that. You guys, if I missed anything, please tell me in the comments. I love speaking with y'all. This is all I got for my review. I'll give this episode basically an 8.5 out of 10. What do you guys think? Adios. Josh Vision.